The rumors were true. The Maple Leafs have a new captain, and his name is Auston Matthews. We'll discuss what we learned from the Leafs press conference today, coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some big news today. The rumors are confirmed. The Leafs have held their press conference a couple hours ago. The new captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs is indeed Auston Matthews, number 34. No big surprise. About 2 days ago, there was reports from various NHL reporters suggesting that there was going to be a press conference today and that Matthews was going to take over the captaincy from previous captain John Tavares. Well, everything turned out to be exactly as the insiders had the inside scoop a couple days ago. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that the news is official now and some of the things that we've learned or what was said during the press conference. So essentially, we had Brad Treliving was there, Brendan Shanahan, John Tavares, Auston Matthews. They had some current Leafs there as well, including Mitch Marner and Morgan Riley. There could have been others, but they were mentioned, as well as some former Leaf greats, including Leaf captains in the past, Doug Gilmour and Wendell Clark. So lots of people there, and I think Larry Tannenbaum was there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So lots of representation from across the alumni, ownership, management, current players, etc. Lots of reporters. It's a big deal. 26th captain in franchise history, first U.S.-born captain in Maple Leaf history. 4 Canadian teams now have an American-born captain, which is a little bit unusual, but it's a trend. Lots more American-born players working their way into being bigger names across the NHL over the last number of years, many of which have worked their way into leadership positions across the NHL. So certainly Matthews, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people viewed this team as kind of being his team anyways. So the commentary started with Brad Treliving kind of explaining that not long after the season ended, of course, when they're going through a lot of their debriefing and end of season stuff, that he had a chat with John Tavares and had made a suggestion that maybe this is something they should look at. He says that John was very professional, was on board from day one, and fully supported the idea. And so as they kind of talked through it and kind of weighed their options throughout the offseason, they decided that this was the way to go. But it sounds like it was definitely Brad Treliving, like the Leafs idea. It wasn't John Tavares going to the Leafs saying, hey, maybe we should do this. He seemed very supportive. His kids were there as well, his wife and kids. His little kids were, of course, they're quite young, running around with little Matthews jerseys on now. He's the consummate, ultimate professional. John Tavares will never, ever, I don't know if he really has any hurt feelings or not, because you'll never know if he does. He's the ultimate professional in that sense. He's never going to come out and say that he was bothered by it or hurt by it or what have you. He's just not that kind of player or person, especially while he's a Maple Leaf. So I doubt we'll ever hear anything in the future. But everything that, like I said in the video a couple days ago when the rumors came out, even if he does feel like he's like a letdown or hurt or anything, we're never going to know. This is going to be totally played off as being something that he's fully supportive of and very much on board with, which is exactly, no surprise, how things were presented to the media today. So again, no big surprises. Some people are calling this a stripping of the captaincy of John Tavares, whereas I think the team kind of sees that maybe having to see in a different jersey might just be a way to go. I don't know. Really, there has to be a reason, right? I mean, if you're management and you're looking at this thing, okay, what changes do we need to make? And that's one of the early ones that pops in your head, because he said it was early in the offseason. It kind of makes you wonder what their thoughts were on the leadership style of John Tavares. It's, to some degree, I would have to think that, this is this is as much about Matthews as a bit on Tavares too. At the end of the day, though, it's certainly I agree with the change. I think they were ready, or just they seemed to be, to put the C on Matthews 5 years ago. And then, of course, he had that incident in the summer in Arizona. It was a bit of ended up with a little bit of a legal law issue. And I think they felt maybe it was bad PR at the time. They went with Tavares. I don't know that it was going to be Tavares the whole time. I honestly thought they were going to go with Matthews as captain, and Tavares was going to be like, the older player who has captain experience that was going to kind of be there to support him. That's what I thought. Kind of like Claude Giroux, Brady Tkachuk, more like that style. Brady Tkachuk was already captain in Ottawa when Giroux arrived, but same kind of concept. The older pro that's got experience, has been there, done that, and can be there to support and lead the way. And instead, he took the leading role, which like I said, I'm not sure that was the plan at the time, but again, we may never know that either. Of course, Brad Treliving was not part of the organization and had nothing to do with it, but at the same time, it's fair to say Matthews is definitely a lot more mature now. He got another 5 years of experience, one of the top players in the game. Clearly, they like what they see, and they feel he's ready for it. But Tavares had some great things to say about how Matthews is so professional and prepared and such a good teammate on and off the ice, and said all the right things. He had a little prepared speech, which was great. No big surprise again from John, knowing what he's been like throughout his career. You can say what you want about him, about his on ice play, about his leadership style. Is he a great NHL captain? I'm not so sure. I mean, he's not a terrible one. Like, he's just, to me, he's it depends on what you want in a leader, and we have all got our opinions on what that needs to be, right? And he's just kind of almost like a Captain Serious kind of guy, and just some people want that more of that rah-rah personality, and well, I'm not sure Matthews is that either. So at the same time, I've heard lots of opinions on Tavares' leadership over the years, considering he's got plenty of it with the C on his jersey between his time in Long Island and Toronto. So obviously, like I said, he had a great speech, very supportive of the move. Of course, as you see in the thumbnail, Tavares was there to hand Matthews the jersey with the C on it. They took some photo ops. Some other questions were raised by reporters. We didn't really get anywhere with really any significant information, but Treliving was asked about Yanni Hakanpää, which was something that we've been kind of waiting all summer on clarity on. And all he said was that they're still kind of working away at it, but it wasn't the time or the place to really discuss it. So we don't really know anything further there. If there was something quick and positive for him to give, he could have given it, and there wasn't. So we're going to assume it's status quo, that they're still not comfortable enough to sign the contract based on his health. But again, I don't know. I know I did see comments, because I wasn't on the press conference itself, but I did see afterwards that some media did briefly talk to Mitch Marner, asked him about his future with the club. Of course, again, he deflected, which is not a big surprise. I wouldn't expect him to address that here today. And all he said was that he said, I'll tell you the same thing I've said from day one, that I love being a Leaf. It's an honor to be here. I love being here. And today is about, my two teammates up on the stage, and that's all I'm going to comment on. So again, media did try to get some other scoops between Marner and the Hakanpää injury and whether or not he's being signed or not, but they didn't really gain any real clarity there. But like I said, no big surprise that Marner was there. Again, local guy, very supportive, good friends with Matthews. Wouldn't expect anything else. And clearly, like I said, this is some people are making a bigger deal about Tavares being stripped. Like I said, there was a rumor, not really a rumor, but like an article we looked at yesterday in last night's video about from the Islanders' perspective, saying, well, Tavares was stripped of the captaincy. They must want to get rid of him. Let's see if it makes sense to bring him home. And so we talked about that in that video, and it's like, I totally disagreed with the article, but again, it's just something I wanted to discuss. I wanted to get everybody else's take on it too, but surprisingly, in the comment section, there was some Islander fans supportive of the move to come back. I'm like, that's surprising to me, because it just seemed like there's more hate out there for him than anything else. But the Matthews captaincy is official. A new era of Leaf hockey is upon us. Will it make any difference at all in how the team performs, let alone especially in the playoffs? Let me know what you think there. Is this a case of, really, do you feel that this is more of a case of Tavares kind of being stripped because they weren't happy with the leadership, or just more of a case of just like a succession plan saying, hey, Tavares is going into the final year of his contract. We don't know how long he's going to be around. Matthew seems ready. Let's do this now before, he ends up possibly leaving next year. We don't know, and see what everybody thinks. But I just want to know what the thoughts and process of Leaf fans. Are you happy with the move? Where do you think it's going to go? Is it really going to make a difference at the end of the day? They need to get the job done in the playoffs, and I'm not sure who wearing the C is really going to have an impact on that. But let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.